Cluster supported. So polymictic. It's a conglomerate because it's got a rounded class. Polymictic, cluster supported structures. What did you say?
Channel fills, lenses.
Trough crossbeds.
Okay, trough, crossbeds and crossbeds. So this is the way you go whenever you write a report. The very first thing you write down is the lithotype, which is the fascias. So the description goes by the name of the rock, conglomerate, sandstone, siltstone, mudstone, and then you start describing the rock. Color! Color is very important. What was the color?
Several.
Yeah, it was like
Rainbow colour.
Can I cry?
People might start to look, but
color. Predominant color amongst the several colors.
what's the predominant?
was it the
Green. I want to say grey.
I was trying. We had white, black, and green.
Some red ones.
I think it was the black ones.
But
Dudley. Talking about Dudley at the moment. Also different colours, one of them's blue.
I'm gonna go with black. Lock it in.
Final answer. I'd like to
Wait,
play
the
the brand.
conglomerate black, was it the same color as the core? Or maybe are
No.
you colorblind?
Yeah, maybe.
Ah, okay. Could be it.
That's a good way of getting out. I'm colourblind, so I can tell.
Grey.
It's grey.
Well, according to the pictures, it was grey.
That's what I said.
Grey sounds good.
That and rainbow.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whites and greys.
Looks great,
Mostly.
mostly. Okay, so the very first thing you have described the fascias. And then let's start with the next step, and it's we're still at Dudley, right?
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Well,
So, what was the conglomerate in beds, in lenses?
The lenses.
In lenses,
Yes.
okay. So you write down that, and then you have to. Did you find any context? I mean, what was the nature of the context? The top and the bottom and top contacts. You said that.
Conformity on the second layer up. It's an unconformity on the second layer up.
So how do you call what's an unconformity?
erosional.
An erosion.
Yeah. And which one? Is the lower boundary the upper boundary?
It was the upper boundary
Oy, oy, oy.
on the upper boundary on the second.
But did you find any erosional contact of the lower boundary of the lens?
Whether it was up or down.
Yeah. So, lower boundary is erosional or what? Upper boundary in these lenses?
Lower.
Lower boundary. Okay. So if it's lenses, what are the lenses? And it's the name of the exact name is heteropic width, meaning what is lateral to the lenses of conglomerate.
Please try that again. What was left?
What is lateral to the conglomerate lenses?
Oh, was that? Yeah.
The name is etheropic, it means a time equivalent.
Well, we didn't really see.
Medium
Drone something.
medium coarse
Thank
grey
you.
white
Yes, I
sandstone.
Say it again.
A medium coarse, well sorted, rounded to sub-rounded, all matrix, parallel beams, grey white sandstone.
Sandstone, good. So lateral to the conglomerate you have sandstone. Did you observe any feature that might help you to set the environment?
Oh yeah, in the conglomerates there was like what do you call it? Volcanic clasts.
And also, did you see any specific fossils which might have helped you to understand where the environment was?
Little bits of roots.
Yeah.
So if having roots now you think that the environment is it continental or marine?
Continent.
Continental. So that's your very first thing. Before going to fluvial, you start with, okay, the evidence is I am in a continental environment. Now look at your data and try to come up with a speculation about the type of environment. Just simply look at the data you have written down. And this is what you do in your report. You write the data at first, and then you start interpreting the data. But everything has to be based on the observation data. And your figure, your in this case at Dudley, is your block diagram is your data. So, started to throw in speculation about the environment. Recap the data. Lenses of conglomerate with cross beds and erosional lower bottom.
Alluvial graded gravel channels.
Why? From the data, from
Because
the
of the unconformity that cuts in the existing, the high energy of the conglomerate. So it's a water multiple energy environment.
okay, is a variable energy environment capable of depositing gravel and sand. Gravel with cross beds in lenses. What is it?
Channel.
Or-
It fills in the
Power.
multiple channels. And that's why
Yes,
it looks
and
like a
what
lens.
does fill a multiple channel in a braided river?
So again, what fills?
What it fills
Yeah.
is, do you remember the photo of a braided
Yeah,
river
yeah.
system? The channel is shallow, okay?
Is that like the bars?
Say it loud.
The bars?
The bars, channel bars, so gravelly channel bars. So why is it that you also have the sand?
Just at
You
the
said
low,
that.
low energy time.
So, at the same time, the current will deposit bars of gravel, and then when the current decelerates, it deposits the sand. So now we have this variable river which has energy that that varies through time, okay? So now you stop. This is your interpretation. Don't go beyond in the report. So, data, observation, data, interpretation of the fascias at Dudley. Let's move on. Glenrock. Data. Tell me your data, your observation. What is it that you have seen when you did you did 4 stratigraphic sections, okay? Have you tried to correlate the beds? Some of you tried. So take, for example, take your coal bed and try to follow it across like this, across the sections, okay? So what?
Not this.
Wait,
Yes.
that is already an interpretation because you have the stratigraphic, the complete stratigraphy in your booklet, and you know that Glenrock is older than Dudley. But you didn't actually measure the dip of the strata, or did you? I mean, to say that it is older, you should have taken a dip of the beds and look at the dip of the beds in Dudley, and you would have found out that this is a gentle anticline. So it goes like this. Yeah, and yeah.
You're allowed to make sound effects.
But stick to your data. Now, from your data, now you tell me the environment. So first, tell me the data. In 4 stratigraphic sections nearby, what have you observed?
Several fine silty layers with coal laminations, or thickish coal beds with lamination. Overlain by tuff.
Yes. Okay. Let's try to be more precise. Well-bedded.
Numbers.
Yes. So, well-bedded what? You observe a succession of
Or siltstones at the bottom.
With a metal siltstone in
Yeah.
between.
so well-bedded
Well-bedded siltstone. Laminations.
with well-bedded siltstone with lamination. What kind of lamination? Well, if you call it lamination, it's
They
thin
are
by
thin,
definition.
yeah.
So it's redundant to say thin lamination. You have to say whether it's parallel or cross lamination. But
parallel.
first,
Yeah,
I
that's
told you.
parallel, yeah.
First, start with the lithology and start with the texture, not the structure. Structure comes. What's the texture? So the texture of the several lithotypes that repeat themselves in the 4 sections. Coal,
Siltstone.
siltstone,
Tuff.
tuff, and tufaceous sandstone.
Yeah.
Black coal, right?
Well, some.
But right, some of them. So that's what you have to describe. What did you see at the bottom? Was it black coal? Then this was overlain by, which was overlain by again something different. And so you describe each single section. So section number 1 started with coal at the bottom and then ended up with these thin beds of fine grained whatever, right? So if you correlate, okay, so each lithology has to be described. You first start with the texture, then you describe the structure. So then, as you mentioned, the call was different. And you wrote me a mail, and I would like to you to share your questions with everyone, because your questions were about the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the first week 3 Glen Rock, the coal there was really well formed. But then as we,
What do you mean well formed?
it was like really compact, really fine silt lenses in there.
So when you
compared
say
to-
well formed,
High carbon.
No,
Oxidization.
there wasn't many
very
silt
dark,
layers. Yeah, very
and
dark.
it looked almost pure.
Yeah.
Right, so fine grain, very dark with no or almost no impurities in it. Okay, great, go on.
And then as we went up the beach, we saw that the layers of coal contained more silt in it. So when we got to the fault, it was really silty, really brittle, and quite grey and black, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More mud. More mud.
Hey,
More mud.
more mud? Yeah. More silt, yeah.
And less pressure. In
Okay.
really black coal,
Yeah.
did you notice the beds are highly compressed, top and bottom below?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
So black coal only happens under certain pressure and oxic conditions.
Yeah.
So you can get from seeing the top and bottom sort of header, if you like,
Yeah.
that it's undergone more pressure.
Oh, okay.
If it had temperature as well, you wouldn't get the coal. The coal would disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been under pressure and it's generated some heat, but not enough
Yeah.
to actually the coal. So,
Ah.
So
if that's right.
That sounds pretty good.
My interpretation.
but that's got nothing to do with the amount of silt.
No,
Okay.
that's
It's a simply qualification,
Yes,
okay? So
what's that guy's name?
your question is about the fact that you have silt in the core.
Yeah. So I
So
was,
how can you get the silt?
so I was thinking, since it's an alluvial plain, if you get flooding
You
events.
already start with the core. It's what was it originally?
Plants.
Yeah, plants in a
Swamp.
swamp
Yeah.
or bog. Okay.
Yeah.
So forget about the alluvial plain. You have a swamp, a bog, and how do you bring silt in your swamp or bog?
Floods.
Floods. So that's how you get eventually to your alluvial plain.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to start here with the observation. That's the whole exercise of the reports is you cannot write a report starting from the conclusions.
That's how all scientific reports start.
I think I'm going to retire next year. Okay, to my knowledge, science starts from, yeah, okay. You might have an intuition, but you find the proof to your intuition and then you prove your intuition and it's good, maybe. Only geniuses like Einstein or Stephen Hawking, I think, can start by the greatest intuition in the world. But still, your great intuition comes from the fact that you were capable of observing things. That's the way we learn. When you were a kid, you learn by looking at things. You did not told your mom, from like a hole in the ground, and you were going to stick your finger in the hole in the ground, and your mom said, "No, there might be a Sydney funnel." Well, you didn't know. If you stuck your finger in the ground, you would have learned by scientific experimentation that a funnel web spider is dangerous.
One way to find out.
Suggesting I should do something.
I suggest you should do your experimentation. Okay, so that's exactly what happened. So some of your call was not influenced by river flooding, but some of your call is. And this is why it is important to look at where it is in the stratigraphy. Because what is the other thing that you should have noticed by doing this exercise and looking at 4 different stratigraphic sections in what? 200 meters of stretch of beach? What did you see?
Change.
Perfect. What changed?
Some of the beds stopped, some
Yes.
started.
Yes.
Composition of the beds altered.
And what happened to the coal seams?
Kind of fizzled out.
Yeah,
And out,
branched
and up
off.
again. And
Okay. So now here it is. We have this is the observation. So your observation is beds were not or not all the beds were laterally continuous. Some pinched out. So, coal, silt, sand, tuff, volcanic tuff,
Mud.
and what structures? Did you observe any specific structures?
Ball and pillow, sort of low casts. From that first Glen Rock that we were at, there was the, what do you call it, the low cast structure.
Okay, so you observed the load casts, and that is a diagenetic feature. Do you remember what I told you about? How do you form the load casts?
When something's subjected to enough pressure, the 2 different components will separate out.
So what components have you got?
So you got your tuff and your sand. So
Yeah, but what is the difference? I mean, what have you got? Why can you compress one and not the other?
because one's finer grained.
You need another component.
Is it water?
All right, there is water. Those compressional casts are due to different compaction because the fines are full of water. Okay, the sand. Yep. And also remember that you have the coal, and the coal is a peat bog, and from just in 50, or just in 40, you know that 10 meters of peat make a meter of coal. That's what Bill says. I'm reporting Bill. So you have to squeeze a lot of water out of that. Because it starts with, it's a mixture of organic and water. And if you don't have the water, I mean, the water is actually, and your water is anoxic.
So that other bed on top was already in place when the pressure happened and water came from the coal is.
Yes, so that is the reason why I tell you that the very first thing, you have to write down the data. Because if I tell you the interpretation of a split coal seam, I have two options. And I think that you already sort of are hinting to that. The easiest option, if you have a sand body between two coal seams, and you think about the positional environment, what caused this?
Sand.
Yeah, you have sand, and then you have coal seams, and then you have another coal seams, another sand body, and the coal seam. You see some going on top of it.
You've got a sea level changing because at some point the water's lower and at some point the water's higher.
And so,
Transition.
why would you have two different separate bodies of coal?
Depends where the swamps are at that time because of the water.
Yes,
Yeah.
and in between two swamps you can have a body of sand, right? That's the simple explanation. The more difficult explanation is that you can split the coal seams with diagenesis because of differential compaction. And this is why I tell you, you always have to look at the data, because it is your data that then may allow you to get to one interpretation or the other. So in this case, because you are not an expert and I am not an expert, I would accept I would accept either one or the other, but you have to document it. So if you tell me, I believe it is a depositional environment change because that's the correct way to write a scientific report. So one of the important messages is we don't know the truth. But if hypotheses are supported by data, that is the correct way to go. So don't ask me, am I right or am I wrong? I don't know.
As long as we can prove what we're saying.
Well,
and it's a sound.
The Professor Ditzel, who was an expert in coal and blah, 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 got the idea wrong. And somebody else who wrote a paper 20 years after him, changing the interpretation. So that's the way science goes. What hasn't changed is the stratigraphy. So the stratigraphy and the data is what must be good in the report. So what else can we say about about the facies at Glenrock? So you've seen coal, sand. So what the type of sedimentary structures did you observe in the quote sand? Well, I mean, you touch that sand, and some of you, I remember saying, oh gosh, this looks like it's all quartz or something like that. So your sand, first of all, what was the color? What is the color? The sand?
It was relative. Some of it was yellow. We went down that.
And?
It was pretty coarse.
But also, did you observe some grey sandstone?
I'd have to look at that one. But I remember on the last time we went, there was some yellow sand.
Yes. So you had some packages of more grey sand
Yeah.
and some packages of more yellowish sand, right?
Yeah.
Good. Did you find any specific structures in the grey sand, which I call tufaceous sandstone because it's consisting of tooth?
Oh, is that like the chert nodules?
Okay, there was chert, but that is not a sedimentary structure. What is a chert is diagenetic.
Yeah.
So the only thing you know is that you had a lot of silica around. Otherwise, no chert. But again, did you observe any structure? And by structure I mean cross stratification, for example. Cross lamina.
Pretty sure it was all horizontal laminated.
Okay. You found horizontal lamina. Did you see them? Did you see horizontal lamina? That's very important. Don't
My
be
memory
shy.
fails me all the time, but I
Okay.
think I did.
Okay, good. Did you see only those, or did you also see some cross lamina? Try to remember. Try
It was
to
the yellowy sandstone, it was cross-bedding. It was more,
Okay. So there was some cross bedding and there was some parallel bedding in the sandstone, right? Good. This is a very good observation. Because if you remember, maybe you don't, but you remember that graph I showed about where, in what type of energy you find different lamination. And parallel lamina, you can find them both at very low energy and very high energy. But obviously, if it's very low energy, there is a contradiction with the lithology because sand is not very low energy. So low energy parallel bedding would be in mud silt. Here it's in sandstone. So then you start thinking, haha, the energy is high here. And then she said, oh, I also noticed some cross bedding. So cross bedding is just a little bit below the parallel bedding in sandstone in terms of energy. So what might be the cause of having that high energy?
Proximity to channel. So if we're still, you know how when you have a higher load, you've got the channel and then you've got the beds in between the channel, you would get
Oh, okay, I think I get where you're heading to. You're thinking about the floods and crevasses play, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things is those were deposited during a flood.
the different types of sandstone, like the yellowy sandstone.
The
and
second
cross-bedding,
is again
whereas the grey stuff was
pure
more
speculation.
parallel. So like in parallel.
That, I keep giving you different options because you see from the same lithology and same information, you can get two hypotheses and then you have to work through your own stratigraphic section to try to choose. The second is, if, as he said, the parallel lamina were in the grey tufaceous sandstone, that tufaceous sandstone is what? How do you get that amount of tufaceous sandstone?
Eruption.
the
Ash. So, go on. Ash is very important. Ash. Parallel lamination. Wow. What have we got? What produces a lot of ash?
Volcanic eruption.
So what type of volcanic eruption? This is light ash. Oh, go,
It's like
go, go.
when they go up
Yes.
to the atmosphere,
Yes.
high atmospheric, and then
So it's a surge. It explodes, goes up with water vapor and gas. So water vapor and gas makes it a very fast surge. Shoof. So that's the reason the reason I select this second, but it's just because I've seen this section for like 10 years. So you did not observe the largest, did you? The largest scale sort of hummocky cross stratification? Stratification gently going like that.
Oh, it's sort of there.
That's a very high energy, and it's a proof that there was something
what was that in the sand?
in the sand. There was, but if you didn't observe it, don't write it down.
It was way.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's that